Hi there, Crazy Corb again. I just got done telling you a little story about my dog Lucky. And I got to thinking I should probably on that same trip I was staying at a new friend's house when I had fallen off the back of a truck and got drugged for a block and had screwed up my ankle. I stayed with a friend and his wife and two boys. Lucky stayed with me, but he slept over by their dog, which was a little Chihuahua. Um, we were visiting, their cabin, their land. They had 40 acres there, and a dog had come running down the hillside, and Lucky just kind of looked at him. It was a very large German Shepherd, and the Shepherd just nonchalantly walked down. Lucky wagged his tail, was going to be friendly. He was a very friendly, nice dog. And this German Shepherd jumped on him, knocked him on his back, grabbed him by his throat, and growled. Lucky didn't do anything. The German Shepherd left when I started to make motions to beat him about his head with a 2x4. So he took off. Lucky came over, wagged his tail at me. I told him he didn't do anything wrong. And for the rest of that day, he was snapping at invisible objects like flies, making weird noises, growling, looking everything except like the noble dog that he was. And the people were a little put out and afraid that they really didn't want him inside the cabin while he was acting like that. So they put him outside. I'm usually really protective of my dogs, but I didn't know what to do with him. I hadn't had him that long. And so he sat out at night and howled all night at the wolves that were howling in the distance. The funny part of that was that the wolves were howling until they heard him. He would howl back and they'd shut up. So the Great Pyrenees, of course, are a sheep breeding dog. Not breeding, but a sheep breed protecting dog. Excuse me, a guard dog. And so they're bred in the Pyrenees Mountains, and they're supposed to be put out as puppies with the sheep and their friends. And they live and eat and do everything with the sheep and protect them. So him being taken over by this German Shepherd didn't set well. The next morning, as I was talking to Robert, who that was his place I was staying at, he told me that his dog had been plagued by this German Shepherd coming down every once in a while and picking him up, rolling him around, growling at him. Basically, this dog was king of the mountain. And then one day, the shepherd was coming down, his master a little ways behind him, but the shepherd came down. Lucky stood there wagging his tail like he was going to be friendly again. The shepherd came and started to do his same thing. He was going to grab him and grab hold of his throat. Except that my dog instead dropped to the ground, grabbed him by the front of his throat, flipped him over backwards, stood over on top of him, and was about to rip his head off when I yelled at him to stop. The reason I knew he was about to rip his head off of him, the reason he was given to me, was he killed 4 of the other guard dogs that were at the wrecking yard where I got him. And they didn't want to feed him any more dogs, and they gave him to me, knowing that I had just lost all mine. And he liked me anyway. So Lucky stopped. He listened to me very well. He stopped, but the owner of the shepherd come down screaming and yelling and waving his arms, and he was going to attack my dog. I picked up the 2x4, began to walk out, but Robert walked out in front of me and grabbed the guy as he was getting ready to kick my dog. And he just grabbed him and said, "You know what, motherfucker? Your dog has come down here for 2 years and fucked with my dog. Now, I have a friend staying here with his dog. Your dog comes down here, and his dog, after being kicked by your dog once, returned the favor. And so now I'm going to return the favor to you. You stay the fuck off my land. You take your dog, and he stays the fuck off my land. Or I'll call you and tell you where his body is. But we're not putting up with that bullshit anymore from him or you." And I hope you understand when I say "are you" what I'm talking about. We don't need to air all the problems we've had between us. You got the homestead. I got the land. You go back to your fucking house and you mind your own business and you stay the hell off my land. Now, I apologize for my thumb slipping over the lens. Lucky was a friendly dog. He was a nice, happy dog. He liked it there. We were there while I picked picked apples. Robert went with us when I went down to pick peaches and pears using my truck. And Robert and I had gotten along pretty good. We were fairly good friends. I was fairly good friends with his 2 boys and his wife. They all liked Lucky, with the exception of a time when we had taken care of a deer that had been brought by, and Lucky dug up a rib cage that had been shot. They shot the deer in the ribs instead of the neck, and he dug it up. We buried it 4 feet deep, but he dug it up and took it as his prize, and he sat up on a hillside outcropping close to the house and ate this smelly, stinky thing until we had to. I tried to take it away from him, but I couldn't get within 30 feet, so it was his. He was an interesting dog. Now, I will tell you other stories at other times, but I just wanted to add that little thing because while Lucky was with me, I loved him, and he loved me. He took good care of me. I lived in a houseboat. He didn't like that, so he lived in my car. But he did take good care of me. And that's something that an affinity I've always had for dogs because of that. They do take good care of you. Lucky took good care of me. I took good care of him. He made sure everybody around me was well taken care of too. That's something that dogs do. This is Brutus. That's the dog I have now. I love Brutus. He's a good dog most of the time. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback and Mastiff mix. He's 12 years old or 13 years old right now. So he's got problems. But he's my dog. Thank you. Please subscribe. Like this video if you like the video. My lover's got another channel. We're going to be doing work together. We're going to be talking about things. Ben's going to be with me for the rest of my life. So I will be interjecting him into this from time to time. He will be having me mess with his critters. And he's up at, I think he's got 38 now. And they're turtles, rats, mice, gerbils, snakes, and a toad, a brown recluse spider, some cockroaches. You know, it's the same thing that any kid has. Not that he's a kid, but he is quite a bit younger. That'll come out as part of our thing with our third channel that we're going to be doing. Anyway, thank you. Do subscribe. Do like. Do share. And no matter what else you think of, You always enjoy a good dog, a good cat, or a good friend. I don't know why I have so much trouble turning this off, but I do. Doesn't seem